I've been working with this collective of gentlemen for about a year now, and finding really good musicians is very important for me. They help cultivate me three-dimensionally, if that makes sense. They help me become real in a live sense. And diligence, patience, respect is sometimes more important than good playing. Working with people who know boundaries and what it is I'm trying to create. So I found a good set of lads there. Sam is an artist himself, actually, a singer-songwriter. And then we have Mike here. So we've got Mike, Sam, Stephen and Ben. So together, and there's a few others, that aren't here today. I've got a big group of musicians that I work with, 16 in total. So, you have to take various members of the band on various school trips, try and keep them all entertained in various parts of the world. I wish I'd had a moment, really, where I realised what it was I wanted to do in my life. It just all feels like one journey. It's as though I woke up one day when I was a little girl and I knew this is what I was going to do. And I can't really explain that. It's quite surreal, really. But there is no difference between the person that you see now and the person that sings, or the person that writes songs. It just is me. So really, I'm just living. This is it. When I finished the whole introduction cycle, when it was done, I stepped back and reflected on it all and thought, did I anticipate this? Did I anticipate that I would be embraced so much by people? I almost immediately became public property, like overnight. And so the only answer I had to that was yes, I think I'd always wanted it. I think I always wanted to go onto the scene with a bang because I'd waited in the wings for so many years. I'd waited for people to embrace me, really. And so when I was embraced, the last thing I was going to do was whinge about it. So all in all, I probably had created that path for myself. I am quite a simple person. The simple things in life, I think, are what keeps us all going and what keeps us pleased. It's not really about success or materialistic gain. So for me, the values that I had as a child still remained. I still liked to go out and have a nice dinner, and I could do that. I still liked to watch a movie, and I could do that. So there was nothing in my life that I felt was a sacrifice, and there is nothing in my life I feel is a sacrifice. I'm not really a whinge, The one thing I hate most in life is somebody who's bad at their job. If you're bad at your job, it makes me ill. It makes me so physically sick that I simply cannot continue my day if I meet someone who's bad at their job, because your job is what you do. It's the only thing you have in your life that you can show for your passions, And so for me, I don't whinge about anything. You'll never hear me complain. But if I meet someone who's bad at their job, I turn angry. Yeah, it's bad. I realise actually now that a lot of people saw me on Saturday Night Live. I was talking to somebody just this afternoon saying that was his first introduction to me as a journalist. So I think that really helped me cross over the Saturday Night Live performance. People say here in America that I am their best kept secret. And I think Saturday Night Live blew that out the water a little bit, where I got to be in the homes of the nation. So being in the homes of the nation, I got to be in the home of Albert Hammond, who was the songwriter. And his wife saw me on the telly and shouted to him to come through to the living room and said that she thought I was a black woman, a much older woman at that. And there I was, 24 years old, blonde, blue-eyed, I guess singing music that didn't necessarily go with the way I looked. So they were surprised, and he became asphyxiated, actually, on what I was doing, so he says, He's quite charming as Albert. And he was like, I used to watch you every day, kid, and follow you. And then I just thought, I've got to call you. So he made a call, and we met in Los Angeles around the Grammys. So again, a very big American connection for me, very important for my next step in my career, I think. I keep going over this, and I'm going to find a way to say it. I'm going to find a more eloquent way to say what I mean. But there is no differentiation between who I am and the singer. There is no difference between who I am and the songwriter. It just is it's all the same world. So there isn't three versions of myself. There's just one. And so if you think about the very common thread and substance of the human form, we aren't born with confidence, you know, we aren't born with an armour that makes us feel elevated. So I guess I did struggle with self-esteem issues in many ways during the whole introduction phase. You know, how I was coming across and what I stood for. Was I doing a good job? I needed a pat on the back. I don't need it now. I'm cool. You know, I'm much safer in myself. But that time I did need it. I did need someone to tell me that I was good. I needed someone to tell me that I was different and special and that I was doing good work, because I don't know, it was an interesting time, I think. And that's exactly what he did. He made me feel like a star, actually.